Hi everyone, I'm Crystal Newby and I'm the Senior Associate Director of Education and Training here at NACAC. And we are so lucky today to be joined by Brian Coleman, who is the 2019 ASCA School Counselor of the Year. And ASCA is the American School Counselor Association, for those of you who may not be familiar, but I'm sure a lot of you are. Also, what's really cool is that Brian was a recipient this year of the Upstander Award from the foundation. So that's really awesome as well. But most importantly, for our purpose, I was going to be our GWI Keynote speaker this year in Fort Lauderdale. This year is actually the 40th year of GWI, and what's really great about this is that it is focused on issues of equity and diversity and multicultural, which is really important to and so today we're going to be talking with Brian about, and we're going to be talking about as well as that Brian does. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if you just want to come and say hello, so we know that you can do that too. So Brian, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. How about you?
I'm good. I'm great. It's the summer. I'm here, running a summer program at our high school. So taking a moment away to talk with you today.
Awesome. Well, we're super excited to have you here. I just tell everybody at home, I actually just got to Brian last week in Boston at the conference, and so it's always a pleasure when I run into Brian. You are going to see why here in a minute. He's fantastic. So Brian, you are the 2019 School Counselor of the Year. Do you want to tell us what your experience has been like so far?
Okay, it has been amazing, exciting, life-changing, a little horrifying as well. I mean, ever since I was named the 2019 School Counselor of the Year by the American School Counselor Association in November, my life has gone into overdrive. I am now traveling the country as a keynote speaker and an ambassador for the profession. I've done so many blog posts and radio shows and a few TV news shows and articles and moving and grooving and hustling, and it's like nothing I've ever known. It's really exciting. It's very, very humbling, but it's a wonderful opportunity to engage with so many different stakeholders around the country and education, outside of the profession, but outside of education. It's been extremely powerful and a lot. It's the most.
In a good way.
In a wonderful way. I mean, I just saw you in Boston. In Boston, I was stopped at the airport, in restaurants, in the hotels, wherever I went, by thousands of counselors who knew me on site. That's, I guess, education celebrity, and it's wild and amazing. So.
I dug in, and again, you're such a wonderful, a great representative of the profession. So it's so amazing to just from my perspective to watch this of yours in November. So for me, it makes me happy. I know it makes a lot of people happy too.
Thank you, Crystal. I love it.
Of course. So let's talk a little bit about your day-to-day work as and you're also the department chair at Jones College Prep in Chicago. Can you just tell us a little bit more what your day-to-day work looks like?
Okay. Sure. So first, Jones. Jones is a selective enrollment high school in Chicago Public Schools of about 1,900 students coming from all over the Chicagoland area. And we're a racially, ethnically, and socioeconomically diverse school, pulling from all of the neighborhoods of Chicago. My role specifically, I'm a department chair, counseling department chair for 6 counselors, myself included. I oversee our senior counseling programming. I partner with another counselor on our freshman programming. I also partner with a teacher on our school's mentorship program. All freshmen at Jones get an upperclassman mentor. I also oversee sophomore sexual health education, and then I'm also the staff sponsor to our school's LGBTQ organization, Jones Pride, and I stay busy.
You do.
You do.
You absolutely stay busy. So I just want to interject. I know some of our people are listening and feedback. So we do apologize. We're doing our best to work on, but technology at this point, I think that's so we thank you for your patience as we work through that.
Yeah, you were asking about day life. Like, really, day to day can be everything from consulting with my colleagues, running counseling lessons in the classroom, depending on the time of the year, doing one-on-one meetings with specific grade levels, like freshmen in the fall, or sophomores in March, juniors in February, seniors in April, with a topic depending on what they're doing at that grade level, and then doing leadership meetings with other colleagues at school, and then everything could go off the grid entirely if a student shows up in crisis, because that's how counseling works. So, today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Can you do me one small favor? Can you turn the volume down on your end just a little bit?
Sure, can do. Okay. All right, you're going to lose my face for a second. Hold on.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay, that's okay. How's that?
Oh, that is fantastic.
Okay.
Okay. So I think we're good. Okay.
Okay, awesome.
So let's
Great.
keep this thing going.
Sure.
So one thing that we're
definitely
interested in are your thoughts on college access and the state of education today.
Sure. When I think about college access, some of the first things that come to mind for me are the Varsity Blues scandal. I know that you have traveled speaking about this recently and really looking at these issues of access and the institutional barriers that have existed for some time, and how they're getting some mainstream attention, why they're getting mainstream attention, etc. I think about my own work. I mean, I work at a school where 90% of our student population goes on to a four-year school. However, I work in the Chicago Public Schools, the third largest district in the country, where about 70% of the students graduate from high school. Of the 70% that graduate, a little under 70% of those students will go on to college in some way. And of those students that go on to college, only about 2/3 of them will go on to a four-year program. And we haven't even started talking about, degree attainment, right? So, and I work in a district that is predominantly Black and brown students, right? Students of color. So I think about, what are we doing as a district? What am I doing in my role as a counselor? What is my team doing? What is my school doing to really name the institutional barriers that exist, the barriers that exist to students pursuing post-secondary education? And then the interventions, what are we actually going to do about it? And a big piece for us, at least at my school, is about, right now, we're really targeting our first generation students who don't know necessarily what they don't know about the college planning process and post-secondary options, and how are we reaching out to them, their families, and arming them with the information, tools, and resources to make informed decisions about their next steps after high school. So when I think college access, those are some of the first things that come to mind, and really being in a position to name openly and honestly that there are a lot of institutional barriers, and that access does not mean the same thing for all of our students and families, and we need to be very explicit in that and take steps to really support our students in their post-secondary plans as best we can.
That's exactly right.
I think that's what I work.
Just another reminder, if you do have questions for Brian, please ask them in the comments, and then we'll get to them at the end. But let's talk about GWI, Brian. Again, we're so excited to have you. But I want to know, what are you most excited about GWI? Yeah, I'm most excited to attend GWI. This is my first time at GWI, so I think the exposure is going to be really, really exciting for me. I love hearing diverse perspectives on this work and how we can work together to create positive outcomes for our students. And more than anything, sure, I'm excited to speak. I love talking. I have fun talking. It's super exciting for me. But more than that, I'm really excited to learn.
and excited to hear other people's perspectives and learn ways in which that I can improve the work that I'm doing, and I can support my students and in my communities, increasing student outcomes and changing the game. So that's really, really exciting for me. So come ready. If you come to GWI, and you should, come with your information, perspectives, insight, and resources, because I'm taking all that back with me to Chicago.
Come ready.
Come ready. Come ready. Come ready.
So as we're still talking about GWI, what is it that you hope our attendants will take away from your Keynote?
Sure. I think for me, I hope that attendees will take away a message of authenticity. I'm known to keep it real, keep it 100 all the time. And I think it's so incredibly important that we do this work in ways that show our own authenticity, who we are, why we love what we do, that we model that for our stakeholders in ways that they then can latch onto that and do that themselves. It's all about taking a strength-based approach to what makes us special, what makes our stakeholders, our constituents special, and how can we help them harness that to get where they want to be. So that's really important to me. I hope that attendees will take away a message of inspiration. I mean, every time anybody ever tells you to be inspirational, you're like, what, how do you do that? But I think for me, I think it's really important that we know that this work is so valuable, and you can do it in a lot of different ways, but you can do it in ways that are authentic to you, and that you can really create positive outcomes for our students and for our communities. We have done it, we are doing it, we will continue to do that, and I hope that we can be inspired to continue to push forward in that way. And I hope attendees will take away, a message of joy. I love my job. I love what I do. It's really exciting. And I think it's so incredibly important that we all come back to our why. Why do we do this? Why are we driven to do this? And are we in touch with our why in ways that really move the ball forward and inspire and promote positive change in the lives of our students and in our work? And I hope folks will take away some unicorn language, because I talk a lot about my unicorn philosophy. I also will have some pro wrestling chants up in there too, because that's how I do. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Yes, and so for those of you who haven't met Brian yet, Brian is an avid wrestling fan, as am I, especially of the things that Brian and I connect over. So we're going to be talking a lot of WWE when we get to Rotterdam.
Can't wait.
All right, so Brian, we actually have a question that came in.
Sure.
Good question from Liz. And she is a first-year high school counselor. Although she has worked in elementary schools and middle schools before. What advice would you give to her as a new high school counselor regarding the college?
Okay. Well, I think having worked at the elementary school level, and I mean, at least in my district, that's K through 8. I'm not sure if that's the situation for you. I think it's very important for you to learn as much as you can. I mean, you're obviously connected to NACAC, which is great. If there's a state affiliate in your area, get involved. It's so important at this stage to learn, gain some exposure at your high school. I would start asking a lot of questions. How does the college post-secondary planning process work right now? What works about that process? How does your school know? What data has been collected? Where are your students going and why? What options are they pursuing and why? What are the expectations from your supervisors and your team about how you will engage in that work and what you should be doing? When it comes to post-secondary planning and college access, we were just talking about that. What issues or barriers are you aware of in your environment, and how can you potentially close some gaps? How can you work with your team to close some gaps? And at a foundational level, why are you drawn to that work? What excites you about potentially college planning and post-secondary planning, and how can you leverage that and harness that to create something special in your community for your students?
Absolutely, that goes back to earlier, what is your why?
Yeah.
Right, that's what's really important. And I think we have another question coming in. Ashley is writing them down. So we'll
Thanks, Ashley. You're doing great. question. Yes.
So this question is from Kimberly. And Kimberly wants to know what advice can you give to middle school counselors to start? What can they start doing to help prepare their students for the transition to high school?
Okay. For middle school counselors, it's interesting. I just sat in on a discussion with Crystal, actually, where she talked about post-secondary planning and college readiness going from elementary school all the way up. I think at the middle school level, it's very important that we're talking to students about options. What options could exist for them in their future in high school, things that they could look at, but even beyond. What are potential career options or paths that they could take? We need to start giving that exposure to different options, introducing them to professionals, letting them know there's not one way to be an adult and to live a life of purpose and promise, and seed as much of that as we can. So interest inventories and exposure is really important. If you can get out into the field and the community and give them access to the world of work so they can see what that looks like. It's hard for people to visualize what they don't know and they haven't seen, right? And they haven't been exposed to. So any ways that we can give them that exposure, but also help them get in touch with what their interests are, what their passions are, and what excites them about potentially growing up, growing older, and potentially moving into the world of work. Those are some of the things I would recommend at this stage.
And Brian, I still appreciate you throwing in that plug from our presentation in Boston last week.
It was so good. It was so good. I had so much fun, and the information provided was spot on. And I have it in my notes. Crystal, if you could share where you can find that information on the NACAC website, that would be super helpful.
Absolutely, yes. So what Brian is referring to is our step curriculum, and it's on our website at nacac.org/step. And so you can go there, and we have curriculum from elementary school all the way through to high school. And like Brian said, there are a lot of different activities and handouts in that curriculum that counselors can use, any adult that's helping the student, think about college and that process. There are a lot of great activities after that. So, Brian, thank you for that plug. So timely. So timely.
The proof is in the pudding, and the pudding tastes good, right?
Doesn't it so? So as you can see why I enjoy Brian so much. We get along pretty well, and you can see why I'm so excited to share him with everyone that's watching and everyone that's coming to GWI. Like, Brian is just such a great life that we need, and so this is one of the many reasons why I just support him.
Shucks, Crystal, you too kind.
So I think at this point, I don't think we have any other questions that have come in. But Brian, I know you were busy this summer and traveling all over, sharing your story. So thank you so much for taking the time out to spend some time with us today. And so excited to have you at GWI.
Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing everybody at GWI. We're going to have fun. Come ready. You don't have to get ready if you stay ready, okay?
Let them know. Let them know.
All right.
Thanks,
bye.
Thanks, everyone.